AVC Big Star 1000 with Gimme Ten for the year 2003, following up with Chris 4127 basket video on 2003. I'll try to keep up. 2003 I've got 10 great records. I'm playing, in fact I've got 11 great records, but we'll just say that the one that I'm playing should be included in this list, but it's just the background music. And at the moment I'm playing the Shins Shoots to Narrow, which is a masterpiece in my opinion in terms of indie pop, sunshine indie pop from Sub Pop. And I'm playing this right at the moment, and in 2003 I played this a zillion times. I loved that album, so we'll just say it's background music, and the 10 records starts now. It was my way of putting 11 records in. Okay, I'll start with the same record as Chris started in his video, which is Elephants by the White Stripes. Now, Chris was saying that, you know, when this came out, he wasn't sure whether he liked it very much. And if you watch his video, I'll put a link to his video, you can see what he's saying. Whereas for me, I loved the White Stripes when they came out. You know, White Blood Cells. That's when I got to the White Stripes, White Blood Cells, which was from 2001, I think. I wasn't aware of them very much before that. But living in England, White Blood Cells was a massive, you know, sort of super hyped up record, and obviously I went to buy it, and I enjoyed it a lot. So really liked it, and I subsequently bought this one when it came out, and I really loved it. I mean, you know, it's a really great rock record. It's a two-piece. It's, you know, it's kind of no-brainer music, and it was all recorded on analog equipment. You know, it's got a very defined sense of aesthetic. It's, you know, it references a certain number of garage bands and, you know, sort of you know, proto-punk kind of aesthetic. You know, it's a great record. I still think it's a great record. Some people might disagree, but you know, Elephant, well named as well, because it's very very powerful kind of music, very you know, I mean, I just used to love things like Little Acorns, which is a great song, and The Hardest Button to Button, or things like Hypnotize or Ball and Biscuits. Really, just like really ballsy songs, really fantastic. And since I'm on a two-piece garage, sort of blues punk garage kind of act, I also want to include this quite fantastic record from 2002, which is the Black Keys with Thick Thickness. And I actually was lucky enough to see them on the tour of this record in Melbourne, because 2003 was basically the first year that I lived here. It was my first. I arrived in Australia on the 31st of December 2002, to give you a precise date. So they came and they played at the Forum in Melbourne, and it was a fantastic show, absolutely amazing. Really, it just exceeded all my expectations of them. They're a two-piece. They're from Akron, Ohio. Grecian Thunder, if you're watching this. And they're a two-piece. Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney on drums. Just, yeah, they just reinvented the two-piece, you know, so elegantly, you know. And even though I don't like blues so much, their blues references are really, you know, they're more sort of a garagey blues than just a straight blues. There's some great covers of Have Love with Travel there. Just like all the songs are good. It's just a fantastic record. It's just my opinion. I will continue with a record that was shown by Chris this morning. Well, I watched it this morning, is what I'm saying this morning. It is the fabulous, fantastic Rounds by Fortet, Kieran Hebden, aka Fortet. This is the recent reissue of it, but it's a fantastic, absolutely amazing record. There's songs like My Angel Rocks Back and Forth, for example, or As Serious as Your Life, which is a monster song, monster song. It's funny, I was reading about Fortet a couple of days ago. There's this great interview of Kieran Hebden in the Dustin Grooves book, which I received at the end of last week, which I encourage everybody to get because it's a fantastic book. So yeah, Fortet, what kind of music is that? Kind of a rock take on electronic music. There you go. That'll suffice. And since I'm on a rock take on electronic music, I will segue this with another fantastic record. This is Up in Flames by Manitoba, which now is no longer called Manitoba, it's called Caribou. It's a Canadian multi-instrumentalist, genius composer, singer-songwriter, brilliant guy called Dan Snaith. And he started his project as Manitoba. However, he got sued by Hanson Dick Manitoba from what's the band called now? I've got their album as well. It was just a garage band from the 70s. Shit! They did this cover of "I Got You, Babe." You'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he got sued by this guy called Hanson Dick Manitoba, so he had to change his name to Caribou. This is a fantastic first album. It's like a sort of melting pot of shoegaze, electronic jazz and electronic music and jazz grooves. Kind of perfect mix of all these sort of influences. Kind of predates in a sense things like LCD Sound System, although not in the same kind of box, but close in spirit to Fortet, really. But the shoegaze meets jazz is just very strong, and this is a great package. It's got the album Up in Flames, which looks like this, and then there's the outtakes and the bonus versions in the slipcase. I always argue for great packaging of CDs, and occasionally they don't fail to impress. Continuing, completely different line here, a reggae record. This is the Easy Star All Star Dub Side of the Moon, which is on orange translucent wax. It's great. The Easy Star All Star are just a cover band basically, and they cover albums. They've done one on OK Computer, which is called Radio Dread, and one on Sgt. Peppers, I think. But this is just so accomplished. This is a record where, okay, let me tell you, the first time I heard this, I was in Collector's Corner in Melbourne, which is a shop that doesn't exist anymore, and I was browsing through the shelves, and this was on, and I stood there wondering, what the fuck is this? It was something that was instantly recognizable, but not at the same time. And then I thought to myself, it's fucking Pink Floyd. It was just really strange because some because I've listened to Dark Side of the Moon. You know, again, I say it a lot, a zillion times. It's an album that I know note for note, basically. And when you hear an album like this one, which covers the album note for note, but does a completely different thing with it, you know, it's the same, but it's just completely different. My mind boggled. I had to buy the album. I had to actually get it because, and it's just such a fantastic cover of it. But at the same time, it really does something. It brings something extra. The original album doesn't have it, so it's a dub reggae version of Dark Side of the Moon, basically. But it's extraordinary. Very well done. Next, I will copy Chris. Sorry, Chris. Broadcast Sound, band from Birmingham, which was led by a fantastic singer called Trish Keenan, who unfortunately died aged not even 40, I said 40, maybe 41. Great package this. It's got a whole book and one of the CDs there, but it's not the same format as a normal CD. It's a bit bigger, you see. It's got some great little, you know, opening inserts. Very hard to find on vinyl this, but lovely, lovely record on Warp. Which is one of the best labels there is, really. Yeah, this is, you know, alternative. It's very hard to describe broadcast music. It's very close to Stereolab in spirit. I would just say, if you like Stereolab, you'd like broadcast. Sounds. Okay, four more. Spending too much time. One of my absolute favorite albums of the 2000s, I could say that with very high confidence, is the fantastic Feast of Wire by Calexico, which is a double album. Calexico is mainly a two-piece of John Convertino and Joey Burns. And I think I was told by another VC member that Calexico actually stands for California and Mexico. So it's kind of this kind of mix of music. And what it is, Calexico really is Morricone soundtracks meets kind of Americana. It's kind of the joining point of you know, country, folk, and Morricone, Ennio Morricone soundtracks. You know, very cinematic music, beautifully played, lots of orchestral bits, but retaining a sort of singer-songwriter base to the music. This is fantastic. And if you don't believe me, listen to Quattro, or not even Stevie Nicks, which is a song about suicide. Another Chris for 127 Baskets, Explosions in the Sky, The Earth is Not a Dead Cold Place, a Cold Dead Place, The Earth is Not a Cold Dead Place, Post Rock from Texas, fantastic. If you like Godspeed, if you like Mogwai, if you like Tortoise, buy this with confidence. Very, very, very good album. Finally, a couple more records. You know, a fantastic singer-songwriter piece. By Prince Billy, Master and Everyone. Obviously, it's not the same standard as I See a Darkness, but it's very close to it. It's probably my third favorite Bonnie Prince Billy. First one will be I See a Darkness, and then Letting Go, which I will include in 2006 for sure. And this is comes third. But then there's also the other names that he goes under: Palace Brothers, Palace Music. Fantastic record, Mastering Everyone. This is on Drag City. Yeah, sing it in alternative country record, and don't let that discourage you, because people think alternative country it means country. It doesn't mean country. It's just it's got a the very root of the music is country music and folk music, but it's twisted to a sort of an unrecognizable kind of end. Last but not least, uh, Boris at last, Feedbacker, which is on Thanks Anal Satan, a 2009 reissue of the album. Fantastic record. That normal black. Yeah, it's got the great label, the great fake Virgin label there. It's great. They're great at copying like classic things. Comes in with a poster and all. It's cool. I'm not at all into metal, in case you haven't noticed. You know, I talk about indie music and folk and jazz, but I don't talk very much about metal. And this is as much metal I'm prepared to take. In fact, to me, I'm very happy to listen to things like Black Sabbath or early kind of proto metal kind of thing. Heavy prog, heavy psych, proto metal is okay for me. This kind of thing is okay, sort of sludge and doom, where the riffs are really, really slow, and but technical metal, like really fast things where people scream, even like things like new wave of British heavy metal, like Iron Maiden and it's like Metallica. It just doesn't do anything for me at all. I just don't like those bands at all. AC/DC, to me, it's just not really exciting music. And a lot of people will disagree with me, but I personally don't. It doesn't move me, But this is fantastic. Boris. Okay, VC, leave me some comments if you can be bothered. Don't let me offend you.